Namaste and welcome to this episode of Meditative Nest. So far, we've covered what is meditation, why do you need to meditate. In the fourth episode, we talked about how to meditate, what are the steps for basic meditation to get started with it. And in the fourth episode, we talked about the dangers of meditation, primarily the mind tricking you into believing something that is not real, that is not a reality. The mind can trick you into believing that you've reached a certain stage of meditation, which you have not. It might give you some kind of an imagination or hallucination, which makes you feel that you are viewing something magical. Some people have a feeling that they're flying. Some people have a feeling that they see some light when they close their eyes, and different kind of things along those lines. So I want to say that it's a safe practice to assume that whatever you're feeling is probably not true, because it's all coming to you as a thought and imagination. So if you get anything that is out of the realm of your knowledge, make note of that. If it is something inside your knowledge, probably might not be true. I won't say it is not true for sure, but it might not be. So let me tell you something. So our limitation as human beings is that we cannot think of anything or imagine anything that we don't already know. Okay, our limitation is based on our knowledge. So most of the thoughts that come to us are thoughts of what we already know, right? Very few people have that kind of capability that they are able to imagine something that is not already known to us, and they end up going and becoming inventors and creators for things that are not present in the world right now. And you can also do that. I'm not saying that those people are special, but their capability of their mind is such, and you need to build your capability to get to that level also. So if you get a thought while you're meditating, right, you need to kind of think about it and identify it as a thought. Like, it is still a thought. If you're getting a thought that you close your eyes and there's two of you that are separate, it's a thought, it's an imagination. If you think about the fact that, oh, you're floating, you're levitating, or you're flying in the air, or light is coming to you, or something like that, most likely a thought, right? When you start meditating, you focus on your breath, right? Because that's all we've learned so far in meditation. You focus on the breath, in and out, in and out, in and out, is the primary place where your intention is going to be, where your focus is going to be, where your awareness is going to be. Anything else that is happening at that time is probably a thought, your mind trying to distract you. So let's not pay too much attention to those kind of informations that are coming to you. Now, there are benefits of meditating, and the benefit starts coming right away. You sit down and meditate for the first time in your life, you will start feeling the benefits. That is how fast it is. So we want to identify some of the benefits that are happening with us without disqualifying them as a distraction of the mind, right? That is another danger, because one danger is your mind can trick you to believe something that is not true. Another danger is something might be happening with you which is magical, and you disqualify it and don't even pay attention to it, right? So we're talking about that in this episode, about what are the different things that can happen. Now the goal to share that with you is not so that you start imagining and attracting it and hoping for it or wanting it, because whenever you want something, you are not focusing on your breath. So if you sit down and meditate and you want something to happen, your mind is all over the place, your focus is not on your breath, it's going to waste your time. So a lot of people don't even talk about this, but I'm talking about it just so that you be loyal and true to yourself. Okay, don't lie to yourself. If you feel something, dissect it, right? Think that it might be false, it might be false, it might be false, but understand the benefit. So here is the benefit. The first benefit that should come with meditation is usually a lot of clarity. Right? Clarity does not mean imagination, but it just means realization. When you start understanding something, and this is not something that happens during meditation. When you're meditating, you are focusing on your breath. Your attention span is completely focused, concentrated on the act of meditation. It is not going to come to you as a thought while you're meditating. Okay, so if something is coming to you when you're meditating, red flag. But after you've done meditation, right, you sit down for a couple of seconds, you think about things, You get out of the meditation, you sit down, you are absorbing what's happening around you. You might start to get very random things. Like I'll tell you one of mine, and I don't want you to attract it, but just understand. So one of the first few times that I meditated, and the first meditation that I felt was really beautiful, was in Boston. I was visiting my aunt, and I was sitting in her backyard facing a valley. Like we were right on the mountain, not on the mountain top, but like high up on the mountain, and everything in front of me was clear. So I started meditating, and I realized that I sat for a very long meditation that day. I was able to keep my focus, no distractions, nothing. And during that meditation, nothing happened. As soon as I was done meditating, I started walking back. I picked up. I think, using one of their couch pillows that I took with me to sit outside. So I picked that up. I kind of cleaned it and started walking back. And when I came back, I realized that I feel that when I was sitting and meditating, there was a lot of things in front of me, right? Because I was sitting on a mountain top and I'm looking into a valley. So I can see the sky. I can see the sky, and I can see planets, and I can see, all the things in the universe. And they're round in shape. They're like a ball, right? Everything is round. And I felt that that's very interesting, that everything in this universe is round. Earth is round, all the planets we know is round, moon is round, sun is round, everything is round. How is it round? And okay, and you can understand that, okay, it's the shape, aerodynamic in a way, even though there's no air over there, but just to say that, okay, spherical shape is gravity is like, it's pulling something inward, so everything is like equally in that particular shape. I understood that, but I started feeling like those far away planets are round. Our Earth is round. So now I'm back on Earth, and I'm thinking that Earth is also round. And if you zoom into the body, like you zoom in from the space into me, where I'm sitting right now, you will see the Earth, and then, like, Google Map view, you see I'm sitting down. And if you look at my body, I'm not round. I mean, I am round, I'm fat, but I'm not round like that. But if you zoom in a lot more, you'll see that everything in this universe is made up of atoms. It's made up of small cells, right? Think of an egg. An egg is almost like a spherical shape. Our cells are spherical in many ways. Our eyeballs are round. So many things are round. So if you look at the human body under a microscope, you would start feeling like this little, and even if you imagine like little cells attached to each other, right? So that whole concept is pretty much the same. And there's a fundamental thing, that is a force within Earth's core which is pulling everything together. That's why we're sitting on the planet and not flying off into space, right? There's gravity that's keeping us over here. There are certain forces that are working. Similar forces are working in our body also, right? Because why am I contained in this body? Why is my body like not all over the place? Why am I not like a pancake, right? So something is keeping me in force. So on every cellular level, everything, that cell is contained because there are forces working inside it. So you start seeing a little bit of uh, similarities in everything around yourself, right? So that's kind of I thought it was a very clear thought, even though not exactly how it is, but just that relationship. Like there's something outside, the universe is in a certain way, our planet is in a certain way, things on this planet are in a certain way. Everybody follows the same kind of rules. Everybody kind of follows the same rules of the universe. That is the laws of physics that apply to every single thing. Um, Similarly, many areas and places that I've been to, there have been so many different places where I've gotten some different kind of clarity after I've meditated. So once you meditate and you roam around, you might feel like you're just getting a little bit more clarity about certain things. And it doesn't have to be that extreme that you're thinking about outside the planet, but something similar. Like I remember at one point I just held a pencil in my hand and I was like, how is a pencil made? I know it's made up of graphite. I know graphite and diamond are just one bond away from each other and everything. But how is it actually made? How do you put it inside the wood, and uh, how does it work? How do you make it round? And I was just thinking about how, and I'm not meditating. I'm just thinking, holding a pencil in my hand, like how is a pencil manufactured? And that whole process of how it could possibly be manufactured came to my mind. I went to YouTube. I searched for how is a pencil manufactured, and I saw a video of a factory. showing me the exact same steps that were in my mind. So I was able to get some information of outside of my knowledge because I knew a pencil can be made in a certain way. It's a very simple thing. So I was able to get that knowledge and see how a pencil was made. Um, there was something uh, unimportant about this whole process also at the same time, but I won't talk about that. So similarly, in a lot of things, you will start seeing a lot of clarity happening, and there is nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with being more clear about things. You see a trees pulling up so much water, right? You can see a tree which is static, but if you think about all the movement that is happening in these plants, you can become aware of that. That's clarity. There's nothing wrong. So let that wisdom come to you. You learn something, acknowledge it, say, okay, I'm happy, I'm grateful, I'm benefiting from it, I'm getting more clarity, right? Certain concepts start becoming clear, concepts about religions, concept about countries, concepts about different kind of profession, work, relationship between money, food, and how does food come to your table, local food versus imported food, uh, water quality. You can think about anything that concerns you, and you'll start getting a little bit more clarity. And I think that is the most beautiful benefit about meditation, because it just enhances all over your life. You start getting more clarity about everything. The more you do it, the more clarity you get. So that is something that you can expect from meditation when you start doing it in the beginning. Do not, how to say this? So don't fall for words that you hear and believe anything. Like, let's say somebody talks to you about moksha and talks to you about nirvana, and they talk to you about afterlife experiences or anything. Don't believe it till you experience it, right? So as a meditator, you are a scientist. A meditator is a scientist, right? Because your job is to observe and learn. Observe and learn. So what did you do with meditation? You're observing your breath. You're learning that you have sensations on your under your nose all the time. So that is something you realized and you learned. Scientists do the same thing. There's different kind of scientists, right? So my family is into chemistry. So they would take different chemicals, mix and match, and see what happens. There's a theory to it, there's practical to it. They find out what the reason is. There's so many people who've done PhD under my father. So I've seen a lot of the work that he had done was primarily about basic theory. Somebody comes up with a theory like, this is a possibility. Then they go ahead and prove it and say, okay, this is how it is done. And they define, they write down and note whether the results are what they were expecting or something different, right? So that is what a scientist does. That is what you do as a meditator. You sit down and you observe everything. We will not believe in anything that is being told to us unless it becomes our own experience, right? If you think with this kind of a logic, let everything become your reality. Somebody says there's a reaction. Every time something happens to us, every time we hear something or see something, our mind reacts to it. You can believe it and say, okay, maybe that is how it works. But you can become aware instead and say, okay, I will have to investigate it and see how it works. So you try to keep your awareness all the time. When something is changing, when you are in an environment, let's say you suddenly got angry, just pause for a second and think back. How did I get angry? What were the steps that were happening? And you would probably understand that, oh, this is something that I reacted to it because I could have not reacted to it also. There is an option. If somebody says something to you and you don't want to react to it, you don't have to. It will not make you angry. But we make that choice because of obviously karma. Karma is basically history, like, patterns that we follow. We're in a cycle, we're in loops all the time. So sometimes you just, out of that habit, you do it. Breaking those habits are important for us, but only if you understand that you got angry or you reacted to something out of a habit, can you break that habit. If you don't even know that, then you cannot, right? So another benefit of meditation is also you can see processes of your body changing, and you can see where I can interfere with them and prevent them from happening, especially the unpleasant ones, because you don't want those. So like that, you will start getting a lot more benefits. They say that when you hear or see something, it goes through 4 different cycles. Number 1 is you realize that you have heard something, right? Let's say somebody calls my name. Let's say my daughter calls my name. So the first step would be that my ears would tell my brain, I heard a sound. Okay, so that's acknowledging that we have heard something. Second is recognition, to say, okay, what have we heard? Do we know this or we don't know it? So the mind says, yeah, we know it. It's my daughter's voice. Third thing is we try to understand, is it a good thing or a bad thing? Right? It's my memory. Is it a good memory or a bad memory? Do I feel good about hearing her voice? Do I feel bad about hearing her voice? And based on that information, the fourth step is me reacting. So I will become happy when I hear her because I always get happy. So that is something that I can change. Not that I want to stop being happy when my daughter calls me and become angry instead. But at the same time, if it is a choice that I have, if something I don't like, if somebody said something I don't like a curse word or something arrogant, I always get upset about it. But this time I can say, okay, the first three things I cannot control, because first one is acknowledging that I heard something. Second is identifying what did I hear, have I already heard it or not. Third one is how does it make me feel. The fourth part is how I react to it. So that is the only thing I can change. And I learned this from Sadhguru in his engineering program. So you can train your mind to start getting to that point, like, hey, I am going to stop from reacting. I will try not to react. And then that will change a lot of things for you. So just be aware of these changes and these benefits, and you will enjoy more. So thank you for listening to this episode. I will talk a little bit more about more beneficial things as we go along. Namaste.